Yo, what's good people? If you watched my 9.2 rewards opening, you know I ended up taking Knull to rank 4, which may surprise a lot of people as I'm known as a Battlegrounds player. Knull isn't necessarily the first champion you think of when you think of Battlegrounds. A lot of people think he's great for long form content and not much else, but you would be wrong. At max sig and especially at rank 4, Knull is a beast in Battlegrounds. Now keep in mind, I 75% ranked this guy up for defense. I'll explain why he's such a strong defender a little bit later on in the video, but oh my, he cooks on attack as well. You're going to see some crazy fights in this video. We got a rank 4 arcade first, but stay tuned because we got Zolas, Serpents, Bullseyes, Photons, anyone bro. Knull's just that guy. He can pretty much nuke anything that you can armor break, and especially you can bleed. What a lot of people don't know about Knull is that when he goes into corruption, not only does he get those massive armor breaks, but each hit he does will inflict a instant bleed. And at rank 4, this is like a guaranteed 10k every damage, which is crazy. We're finishing off this arcade here, not even going for a special 2 SB1s nuked him, and that's a rank 4 arcade. That's equal ranks. Most of the defenders I fight in this video will be at rank 3, otherwise what's the point in it being a rank 4 showcase if I'm fighting other rank 4s? I might as well be doing a rank 3 showcase and fighting other rank 3s at that point. But for the occasional rank 4 in this video, I will tell you all when we get there. Now we got this Red Skull, and this is like Knull's most ideal matchup. He absolutely nukes this. Easy 30-second fight. The node in Battlegrounds right now is basically long distance relationship but root. If you're close to the opponent, when the timer ends, you're going to get rooted. If you're far away, your opponent will get rooted. And there's this node where if you stay close to your opponent, every 3 seconds they will gain a regeneration buff. So defenders get massive regeneration this meta. That's really not a problem for Knull though, as you can imagine, because of all the debuffs he inflicts. He synergizes very nicely with the Despair Mastery, so regen really is not a problem for this guy. There is another mastery what Knull synergizes with very nicely though, and it's kind of a must-have to make Knull a truly great dual threat for Battlegrounds. It's the Inequity mastery. This is what makes him such a tank on defense. I talked about it in my opening video, but I'll briefly go over it again. So if you don't know how the Inequity mastery works, for each debuff on your opponent, you reduce their attack rating by 2% up to a maximum of 36% damage reduction. If your Knull is at Sig 200, you start the match with 17 debuffs. Bam! That's instantly reducing your opponent's attack rating by 36%, and this works on defense as well. So keep in mind, if you're fighting a Sig 200 Knull in Battlegrounds and your opponent is running Inequity, you have 36% reduction in your damage. That's so much. That stalls the fight out so much longer. And Knull is the type of defender where the longer the fight goes on, the harder he can be, the more likely he is to chuck that special one and go into corruption. And even if you don't mess up to him, that damage reduction just makes the fight so slow that your opponent is probably going to win on time. Whilst I was glazing Knull though, yo, he cooks this Serpent. He completely turns off his regeneration. When your opponent is below 50%, they literally can't regenerate against Knull whilst he's in corruption. He's a really underrated counter for him. We all know I despise Serpent. He's my most hated champion in the game. It's rare you actually see me fighting him because I ban him every single Battlegrounds match. I refuse to rank him. But first time I tried that matchup with Knull, I cooked it. It seems to be very reliable. Most of the damage was coming from the instant bleeds, which are guaranteed. You don't need good crit RNG or anything for that fight. Yeah, really underrated Serpent counter, just like he's very underrated for Bullseye. His medium attacks can't be evaded, so yeah, obviously Bullseye ain't going to be evading anything there. And thanks to our 60% bleed resistance paired with Inequity reducing our opponent's attack rating by 36%. Yeah, it's got utility on attack as well on defense. We barely take any bleed damage. Oh, and when we enter corruption, we're reducing our opponent's combat power rate, which means they are gaining less power when we hit them, which is obviously very nice against Bullseye. You stop him throwing many special attacks. He isn't much of a threat at all. He's pretty decent for Mystic champions in general. Unlike most Cosmic champions, Knull doesn't really rely on many buffs. The only ones he does have is when he enters corruption, he'll gain a unstoppable and a unblockable. This will feed Mystic Dispersion, but other than that, he's pretty safe to use against Mystic champions as long as you can armor break them. You know, don't try using this guy against Absman or something. You still need to be able to armor break your opponent, but yeah, Mystic Dispersion is not much of a problem at all. Obviously, he's a great counter for Killmonger. Knull is all about his armor breaks, and that's how you counter him. You do have to be wary until you go into corruption though, because those living abyss debuffs, whatever they're called, will feed Killmonger's reverberation, which means he's gaining a lot of power. So yeah, be careful until you enter corruption, but once you do, the fight is absolutely over. You can see here we're nuking this Killmonger, barely even make it to the special 2, didn't even get to throw my special 2, and he's just dead. So that fight would be pretty much the exact same if it was a rank 3 Knull, because I had a whole special 2 to throw after that combo. Oh, a piece of utility that I haven't really talked about yet is Knull's Regeneration, and this is a lot stronger than I think a lot of people think it is. It's very easy to finish fights at 100% with Knull. If you do a medium ending combo or throw a special 1 whilst you're in corruption, you gain a pretty hefty amount of regen, and yeah, it's actually pretty nice. We're fighting this Shuri here, and the cool thing is about Shuri is when we enter into corruption, every time we hit her, we'll actually gain a extra armor break. Every time your opponent would gain a armor up in corruption, instantly converted into an armor break, and when Shuri's at 10 charges and you're hitting her, she gains a passive armor up every time. So yeah, Knull's corruption utility does work against passive armor ups as well. Of course, he's great for Guardian, but this isn't just any Guardian, it's a big scary rank 4 Guardian, very tanky defender, and Knull just rips through it like it's nothing. Again, we don't even get a chance to throw the special 2. I want to see some big special 2 numbers, but I just never got the chance to because most defenders are dying with a single special 1. But now we got the big bad Zola. Now in this matchup, I can take advantage of the route to easily land my heavy attacks to get rid of Zola's charges. But outside of this meta, I do think Knull would still be great for Zola. You can use your striker and you can heavy counter Zola's special 2 to remove his charges, and if you do mess up, you do get hit, you do get put to sleep. Knull has that regeneration, and because of Inequity, when you do get hit, you're not going to be taking much damage. So yeah, I think he's one of the better arming Zola counters out there, especially for Battlegrounds. Against bleed immune champions, I do find it better just to spam the special 1 anyway to get that degeneration damage, because a lot of people really underestimate how much damage comes from Knull's instant bleeds. Like, I'd say a good 30 to 40% of his damage is bleed damage. So yeah, against bleed immune opponents, he's definitely not as fast, but if you spam special 1s for the degen, he's still pretty decent. Of course, great counter to Pig because he counters evade, and with his playstyle you can just throw your special 1s and stop Spider-Ham from gaining any nonsense. So yeah, great option for him. And keep in mind, man, all this crazy stuff which he's doing on attack is just a bonus because I mainly ranked him for defense. I knew he was a great underrated attacker already, but I am not exaggerating, I am not joking. when I tell you that at least 25% of my wins in the last few Battleground seasons have come from Knull on defense, and this is in high tier competitive Battlegrounds. He's that good, he's that underrated, he's got me that many wins. You're about to see Penny Parker auto block me here and hit me in the face because of that. Not a problem at all, bro. Because of Inequity, we barely took any damage and we can regenerate a majority of it back. Yeah, in this matchup, don't worry about dropping Penny shield. It's a massive waste of time. Let her auto block you, let her hit you in the face. It's not a problem. You can regenerate it back up and you can easily nuke her before she gains any more spider sense charges, so she won't be auto blocking you for the rest of the matchup. Now we have this Iron Go Infinity War, and he has fell off a bit on defense recently, but he's still really annoying without a counter. But no, most certainly is a counter, the most hardest of hard counters out there. No Diddy, once you go into corruption, yeah, he can't do anything pretty much. He loses all of his passive armors, and because of that, he loses his bleed immunity, so Knull just rips through him. Again, we don't even get a opportunity to reach our special 2, which is big sad, but you'll see some big special 2s in the Necro solo coming up. But for now, I need to show the last couple Battleground matches, which are bleed immune matchups, just so you can see how Knull does in these fights. He's definitely not the fastest option, but he can do them. He's definitely a decent counter to champions like Onslaught and Photon. He's just not going to be the fastest, but he's pretty safe because he's really tanky. Once again, you have that regen and you have the reduction in combat power rate, so you don't have to deal with annoying special attacks from the likes of Onslaught or Photon as much. So yeah, whilst he is pretty safe for these fights, definitely not the fastest, still under 60 seconds. But if that was a rank 3 Knull, definitely would not be a 50k score. And look at Nova cooking though. As great as Knull is, he's no Nova, man. Nova will forever be not just my favorite cosmic, but my favorite champion in the entire game. But honestly, Knull may be a close second. I am really falling in love with this guy as of recently, and yeah, I have no regrets on the rank 4. The only reason I didn't want to take him to rank 4 is I really don't want this guy getting banned. He's genuinely so good for Battlegrounds, and I'm scared he's going to be banned every single match now. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully some people don't watch this video and still sleep on him. That would be fantastic. Don't ban my Knull. Look at this Photon matchup. He's not that fast. Trust me, bro. Trust me. Keep in mind though, Photon is another champion that benefits from the Inequity mastery, so she is also reducing my attack rating by 36%. If she wasn't doing that, I'm guessing this matchup would be around 10 to 15 seconds faster, but you're never going to be fighting against Photon without Inequity in high tier Battlegrounds, so there's no point testing that out. We're done with Battlegrounds now though, and I have a couple of long form content fights for you, running suicides now, because Knull is a very suicide friendly champion. He was designed with them in mind, I believe, because he has that 60% resistance to bleed and poison. He basically heals from the suicide mastery debuffs, and he has that insane regeneration, and that regeneration is based on how much damage you deal. So since you're doing more damage with suicides, you get even stronger regeneration, which is just crazy. In these long matchups, you would usually want to go for a special 3 to get a longer corruption, but with a rank 4 Knull, we don't need to do all that, bro. 2 special 1s and we're chilling. We can stay in corruption for the entire match. If you don't know how corruption works, basically once you enter it, you need to stay as aggressive as possible. Every time you hit your opponent, corruption will pause, and you can pretty much stay in it for a very long time as long as you stay aggressive, which is easy to do thanks to the combat power rate reduction, so you don't need to bait out as many special attacks. But that was 3 million health in 1 minute 20. That is a crazy amount of damage. I was running suicides and a full synergy team, but no boost, and I'm running the same thing here for this last fight of the video, which is Necropolis Odin. I decided to skip the first half of this, which is the ramp up phase, because let's be honest, who the hell wants to watch me ramp up 99 living abyss on Knull? No one, right? You just want to see the big special 2s finally. You want to see his damage output at max ramp. You don't actually want to watch me ramping him up, so fine, we'll skip that. And here is his max damage output. You can see on our light attacks we're getting 60k plus another, like, what is that, 30k for the instant bleeds when we're critting, 18k when we're not critting. Yeah, just crazy amount of damage. Odin was at 90% when we threw that special 3, but his health is just melting. He's going down like 2% every hit, and keep in mind this is like 8 million health, the biggest health pool you can find in the game, a ridiculous amount of health. And Knull is making it look like a Realm of Legends fight, but that is going to be the end of the video. I'm trying to hit 10k subs, so if you're not already subscribed, I'd massively appreciate it if you hit that button. If you could share it, like, I'd appreciate that as well. See you all in the next one.